But a lot of them met Muhammad Ali. They took us to his camp in Pennsylvania. He was one of a kind. He was the one that I thought that could really talk. But see, with him, when you sit there and listen to what he said about Sugar Ray Robinson, said that you don't have no punch, and he gave Jersey Joe Walcott to learn how to cut, how to twist. Just sitting there listening to him, he was more than a boxer. He was a beautiful person. You know, he was really a down-to-earth person, you know.
Which camp of Muhammad Ali's did you go to?
The one in Pennsylvania. I forgot where it was at.
Do you remember who he was fighting?
He was getting ready to fight like Joe Frazier.
Oh, so this was either Thriller Manila or one of
No,
those?
Thriller Manila was after. Thriller Manila was George Foreman.
No, that's the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, yeah.
Rumble in the Jungle was formed in Thriller Manila.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thriller Manila. That was Thriller Manila.
Oh, okay.
Joe Frazier fought him twice.
3 times.
But he never looked the same when we was there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at him, he was like flabby. But he gave us a red coloring book. I wish I could find that. Maybe you could Google it and find it. That guy looked at like he was cut up. And he was talking, the beautiful pictures that he showed us that we had in that colorful book. Oh man, I wish I could find that book. I mean, his build was built like a statue. Muhammad
Also,
Ali.
the coloring book was a coloring book of him.
Right. You know, of the pictures of his fight. That was mostly of him, his fights. And he was when they took his title, he never came back the same.
Mm.
He never was the same. But before he took his title, he was, you know, Joe stood a good chance when he took his title. They would have never took his title, it would have been more of a beat 'em up, you know. But when I asked him, did he think he could beat Jack Johnson, and what do you think he said?
Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, given the time difference in the training, you have to give it to Ali. But if you go all things equal, he probably said no, he wouldn't beat Jack Johnson.
Yeah, because he said, since you mentioned that, I would have to put on the little gloves and go back in time. And he said that now I couldn't knock him out. And he had the baby gloves, and then he said that this guy was having sex with white women when they was hanging black men. This is a real mandingo. He was a nut. So he said, like, I don't know. He said that he was not going to soup himself. I was really happy to hear him talk like that. He said, the little gloves, this dude ain't scared of getting hung, messing with white girls in the roaring 20s. He said, like, I wouldn't put myself in that category, you know, because I couldn't knock him out. And he said, even though he open, but I say he fights open, that don't mean nothing. That was back when there was really fist fighting. They wasn't fighting no gloves.
Yeah, they used to thumb you in the eye back.
Yeah. And I was watching the fights, if you're watching, they were throwing people's back in the ring, white guys.
Yeah.
They were throwing them back in there, you know. Then you have to look at, I also asked him, I said that you can't stand Howard Cosell. And he said, we like this. I said, how is that? He said, that's just entertainment. And Don King was there, and Don King said that, you know anything about Howard Cosell? He said, you know who his idol was? And he told you Sugar Ray was his idol. You know his idol? He said no. He said Walter Winfield. You ever watch Walter Winfield?
I know of him, but never watched.
Well, you should watch it. I'll make sure when you come back, I'm going to give you some of the old Untouchables. The talk of him, Cosell couldn't match it. It was the 4th day. He was gunned down out of Detroit. His elegant way of saying, he makes the movies. When you're watching the movies, Frank Nitti out of Detroit, out of Chicago, his Enforcer, you know, the way he talked. So when you hear Cosell, he's really good because he learned from the best, because Howard Cosell had a way of, is the 49ers coming into Chicago. You know, but he learned from the best. What I learned that day at the camp is when you do your research, because when I used to play football, and they said, like, how you get the children to play like that? They look professional. And I said that Jim Toon used to take us to the Giant, because we was in Children's Center. And the Giant Stadium was professional. So when we used to get up there, team down, ready, set. So the formation, since I was a running back, he'd say 44 or 42 on the right. So I had to run between these two. If they say the left, I had to run between these two. If they say the right, I got to run between these two. So it was the learning thing of being around that. See, when you're around something, like when I used to work I started off mopping the floor at the Apollo. Then when Chick, he used to make jewelry. This guy used to play ball with, his name was Chick Jewelry. Chick Jeweler, right? So he used to make jewelry for James Brown, the Apollo, right? So when they used to dance, Chick used to say, you see that? They professionals. He said, they know they nice. That's how y'all got to think. I said, we ain't a professional. You got to think that way. So when he put that in our head, I went to copycatting from a young boy. I used to watch moves. He said, watch them. Watch how they dance. You see how they do the move? So when I used to have talent show with the children's, my past showed me that, because that's how I learned moves. When I used to watch boxing, everything you do, once you watch and you study it and you call yourself copying it, even though you're giving them all the credit, you're able to actually put yourself in their world. Because I used to, even when I used to watch my friends, they used to ride for Charles King's unicycle ride. So they used to ride the one-wheel bikes. And if you ever went to see Soul to Soul?
Soul Circus?
Circus, yes.
Yeah.
That was their children's. If you ask them about their fathers rode with Ringley, Barney's, Bailey Circus. That was before their time. So Charles King, that started the unicycle, one of his trainer had a horse whip, and one day I took the children there to play ball and box and all that, and I said, watch him. He said, he got a whip. He's so mean, he ain't hitting them with it. But look at how he talks. He said, come on, y'all could do faster than that. So that was Friday night. So Saturday night when they went to perform, then they saw them with their uniforms on. I said, look at them now. You see what he made them out of? And he said, oh, they look so good. Then they got, next minute you know they wound up having a job for Barney Bailey Circus.
Wow.
Because, no, that was the talent. And I rode a unicycle, but not like them. They were like, that's all they did. And the guy was on the Giraffe, that's the bigger one. But it was just, you know, putting talent into, because like this generation, tell you the truth, if they got it right, they something else. It's just that they started off with the wrong wrappings and all that. But the love, and give them love and show them a better way. The Minister for Archon was right. He said this generation is not just fearless, therefore this time. You know, we just got to guide them right, you know? Yeah.
How long were you with Muhammad Ali at his camp?
We was there for like say about a week. But it was fun. We was riding the bike and couldn't keep up with him because, you know, I wasn't used to a bike. The bikes was nice gears, but, you know, it was something else, you know? And he used to, we was watching him underwater do his thing, and I'm so fast. I was scared of myself, you know? And I remember he was saying something, and I remember I was in Comstock, and I was shooting jabs. I was and the CO went and said that this guy ran from himself, and they were laughing. And I said, you believe that little line, CO? And he said, it's having to be true, because he said, I swear to Allah, he was shooting jabs, and then he said, and I said, I did not. Then he said, Joe, you ain't got to lie. What happened? You know how you haven't seen a mirror in years?
Yeah.
And then you used to like,
Yeah.
Man, I flipped out. I said, what the? You know, it's strange how you don't know something until you could have something in you that you never seen.
Right.
until you look at it. Like if you ain't seen a mirror in years, then when you call yourself practicing, and then you turn up the speed, you're saying like, you know, it's frightening. You know, you know. Ali, he was just. Then he had these white peoples that he had put his, and he said Friendship of All, but he got the camp. They had a camp with beds on that side, beds on that side, and then they had the FOI, mostly MGT cooking for a white camp, you know, for, you know, the weekend. But it was wonderful how he introduced, and they were making money.
How many of the brothers went to camp with you guys? Was it just Temple
No,
number 7?
no, it wasn't. It was about like 14. Captain Yusuf Shah took us,